Greetings, engineers, and welcome. Today, I wanted to show off a in-progress build that I'm working on for a continuation of my old defensive Agaris scenario. Um, this is my take on a nuclear power plant. This is going to be powering the starting base that I'll be using for the new scenario. Um, I unfortunately don't have a set time frame as to when I'll be moving forward with that scenario. There's still a few things I have to iron out first. But in the meantime, I wanted to show off some of the progress I've made on this power plant. So let's go ahead and hop right on into it. So this right now is kind of what the exterior is looking like. Um, this is based on the Industrial Overhaul bit, so that's why we've got the concrete blocks. This main building is going to be the control building for it. This is going to be kind of a cafeteria and rec room type space. And then back here are the control rooms for each of the reactor cores, making use of some spacebar bridge consoles, as well as the Colt command console pack for some nice little detail, as well as the advanced LCDs to script. That way we can get the readout for the fuel in the fuel inlet, the reactor fuel and spent fuel in the reactor core, as well as the power output from each of the turbine banks, which we will see shortly. Haven't decided what I'm going to put onto some of these other LCD screens. Some of that's still in progress. And basically, each of these control rooms is going to, it'll have the same stuff just for each respective core. Then over here, we've got our computer room with some programmable blocks and probably more than enough timers for everything that I will need. So down this way, we've got a nice little corridor, making use of some of the Agaris decorations blocks. We'll come down this way first. Got the reactor floor access, as well as the reactor room maintenance. Now, it's going to take a little bit as far as setting up the door controls for all of these, but each of the reactor cores will have, I'll have some lockers and whatnot in here. And we've got the nuclear reactor from the Industrial Overhaul by Clockwork. And in here as well, we've got some cooling, got some pipes from the Agaris decorations to look like some cooling lines coming through to the floor, as well as the steam pipes to connect the reactor to the turbines. Then for each of the cores, you have a little viewport so that you can do a look-in inspection without having to actually enter the reactor core room. And it's the same for each of these. Then if we head up, right now I've got this as just a long ladder shaft, but if I can get something figured out, I'm thinking I may put a elevator in here instead of this.
Fuel critical.
Mainly just because I don't like that step off here. Anyways, for each of the reactor floors, got a couple more LCD panels. They'll have a readout on them, and then we have the interface from the you know, from a mod of the same name, interface block. And this is how we put the nuclear fuel into each of the reactors. And it's also how you get the spent fuel back out. At least for the time being. Some of this I may redo. Then each of the 3 cores is the same deal. Alright, so if we head over, the next room is the turbine room. So we've got the catwalks so that you can do a little visual inspection, at least on the inner turbine banks. And each reactor core is feeding into 4 turbines. And each of these has a maximum power output of 50 megawatts. So each core individually can put out a maximum of 200 megawatts of power. Naturally, you can't have a nuclear power plant without cooling towers. Now, the unfortunate thing is, because of Pertam's atmosphere, even though I'm using a lighter color smoke, that's right, Build Vision doesn't play nice with these. At least for seeing the smoke type. So yeah, we're using smoke white, but because of how the Pertam atmosphere is, it looks like a very muddy gray. So that's what we end up with. Then we've got our steam pipes coming out, as well as some cooling lines. That is because inside each of these, we've got our hot and cold water lines, and the steam pipes coming into steam buffer tanks. So this is where all the excess steam gets shunted over to. And then using the neon tubes just to give a bit of color. You know, and some visual distinction between the hot and cold water lines. And then making use of the power lines mod, I'm gonna have cables running out to. This is going to be a power substation, and using another mod, the power transmitters, I can have each of these 3 towers beaming to various locations. Over there, near where I have that prefab outpost marker, there's a iron deposit. There's going to be a mine out there, and it's going to be powered by this whole station. The base proper is similarly going to be powered by all of this. And this lets me have everything connected through without having a ton of these power lines. So there's still a fair bit of this entire little complex that needs to be worked on, namely in the visual and aesthetics, as well as some defenses to be put up. But as I said, this is more of a work in progress showcase.
Fuel critical.
So that's what I'm working on. If you guys have any thoughts or suggestions on bits that I can add to this or ways I can improve it, feel free to leave those down in the comments below. And until next time, take care, everyone.